I would like to discuss with you, what is a successful leader? Now, we can read a lot of books. People like Warren Bennis, the American guru in leadership. He wrote plenty of books on what makes a good leader. He has a bunch of characteristics, like most of his Anglo-Saxon colleagues. But isn't it amazing that if you read a French book that you suddenly say, but will this work? Obviously not. Now, Warren Bennis and Anglo-Saxons will write lists of characteristics you need: trust, self-confidence, vision, mission, and all that kind of stuff. And you will be surprised if you read a French book, for example by Aucran. It's a book called Les Grands Patrons. You read that book, 55% of the book, perhaps even more, is about the background of the leader. Which village was he or she raised? Mostly he in France. Did he go to the École Polytechnique or not? Fine. Now read a Chinese leadership book. There are many of them. And when you read them, you smell China. There is this book called Zen and the Art of Leadership. It's like you're living in China. It's about male being wise. It has references to Zen, the martial arts and the like. And no problem. If the Chinese stay in China, if the French stay in France, some would call it a good idea, and if the Americans stay in America, and others might call that a challenge. But what would you ask your people to read when the group that you're leading is a multicultural group? What we have found in our research, and we interviewed many leaders, we asked to fill in some questionnaires, that there is in fact only one competence that goes beyond culture, and that's the competence to reconcile differences created by cultural diversity. What we are trying to do is to give people insight what are the type of dilemmas international leaders are facing. Global versus local, the individual versus the group. Do you have to show emotions or not? Do you go for an analytic approach, or do you rather take things in a larger picture? Do you want to push your products or being pulled by the market, etc., etc., etc.? These are generic dilemmas leaders are facing. But what makes them successful in an international context is how well are they approaching the dilemmas, how well do they choose the dilemmas, and how well do they reconcile those dilemmas. We call this competence transcultural competence. And in our research we have shown very high correlations between the competence of a manager and a leader to reconcile the differences and bottom line performance and 360 feedback. Finally, the point I would like to make, never forget that creating wealth is to join values that are not easily joined. And that's exactly what good leaders do. Thank you.